All right, so let me say something that might ruffle some Texas fellas, guys. Dallas isn't going to be the loudest city in Texas. It's not going to be the keep it weird capital, and it's not going to be the live music postcard. And it's definitely not even trying to be. But here's what's going to be really interesting. While everybody's arguing about Austin's prices and Houston's traffic, Dallas has quietly become the most chosen metro in Texas for people who are seriously thinking about making a move and actually doing the math. And no, I'm not talking about those hype moves from 2021 when people were like panic buying anything with drywall. I'm talking about the right here and now. People are moving much slower, they're moving much smarter, and they're way more skeptical about things these days. They're comparing their job markets, their airport access, and all of the school districts. Because yes, they're doing their own research on all of those, and they're thinking about what life actually feels like 5 years down the road. And when you stack it all up, guys, Dallas just keeps on winning in all of these comparisons. Not emotionally, but strategically. Not because it's flashy, but because 5 years from now, it still works for your lifestyle. So if you're sitting there with Austin, Houston, or maybe even San Antonio open and all those other tabs, let's talk about why Dallas keeps rising to the top when all the hype dies down and the real life starts to kick in. So yeah, let's just be honest, guys. If your mental image of Dallas is still being all the highways, the corporate offices, and the steakhouse dinner after a meeting, you're about 10 years behind. Look, old Dallas was the place you moved to for work. You tolerated it for your paycheck. You told yourself you'd figure it out later. It was practical, efficient, and just a little bit stiff. Nobody was writing love letters about it back then. But that's not what the city feels like anymore. Dallas didn't wake up one morning and try to be Austin, guys. It didn't try to become Houston 2.0. It didn't slap a new slogan on a billboard and then call it growth. But what it did do was way more dangerous. It got better in ways that actually matter to people. The suburbs, they stopped feeling like afterthoughts and started functioning like cities. Areas that used to shut down after 6 o'clock now have real life in them. You can live, work, eat, work out, and build a routine without feeling like you're commuting across 3 counties every single day. The city really didn't reinvent itself, it organized itself. And that type of shift is huge because once people realize Dallas is no longer just a career move, but a place that actually supports your real life, the comparison changes. It stops being about vibes and really starts to be about function. And Dallas is extremely hard to beat when you start looking at it the right way. And listen, guys, when you really start to understand Dallas, you understand this one thing. Dallas is Texas's best hub. And most people don't even realize how powerful that is until they actually live here. It doesn't hit you at first, right? But it changes everything once you live here. I mean, look, just pull up the map for a second. You're not tucked into one corner of the state, guys. You're not landlocked in one culture pocket. You're right in the middle of everything that matters economically in Texas. Assuming no traffic, you can typically get to Austin in about 3 hours. Houston is usually somewhere around 3.5 to 4 hours, depending on your route. San Antonio is roughly 5 hours, give or take. Oklahoma City is typically right around 3 hours up north. You can access half the region without relocating your entire life. But it's not just about all the road trips, right? DFW Airport is basically a launch pad over here. Direct flights almost everywhere you need to be. Business trip, family visits, weekend escapes, you're not planning your life around connections and layovers, guys. You get to move in and out of Dallas so easily, and that flexibility, it adds up over time. And then when we're talking about inside the metro itself, you're not forced into one overcrowded downtown just to feel connected. I mean, Plano functions, Frisco functions, Las Colinas functions, Uptown functions. You can build your world in different pockets without everything bottlenecking into one place. And that's what a real hub really is, guys. It means you get access without the chaos. You're gonna get all the movement without the constant friction. You can live one stable life while tapping into all the opportunity, the entertainment, and travel without uprooting yourself every time your priorities shift. And when people start comparing Texas cities seriously, guys, that hub advantage is hard to ignore. And listen, if you're watching this and Dallas is starting to feel less like a YouTube topic and more like a possibility in your life, I'd love to be a resource for you guys. If this is your first time to the channel, I'm Mark with the Dallas Relocation Guide, and we help people buy, sell, and relocate right here to the Dallas Metroplex. My team and I help people make this move every single day, whether you're just starting to explore, comparing cities, or already packing boxes, guys. You don't have to figure this out alone. We're gonna give you all the intel, the insights, and these crispy visuals so you can make the best decision for you and your family. So if you're thinking about making that move, guys, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is down in the description below. and pinned to the top of the check. But here's the part that nobody talks about when they're comparing these cities, guys. And honestly, it's the part that ends up mattering the most once you actually land down here. So Dallas is basically a choose your own adventure type of city, right? And I don't mean that as some sort of slogan. I mean, your actual Tuesday can look completely different depending on what version of life you want to build. Let's say you're living over in, let's say, Uptown, right? You wake up, walk downstairs for your morning coffee, and then you maybe hit the Katy Trail before work. Your office might be 10 minutes away. Your dinner could be a patio spot where you're not even thinking about parking because you walk there. You feel plugged in, active, and in it, right? Now, if you contrast that with something like Frisco, your morning might look like a school drop-off 5 minutes from home, guys. You're gonna get the wider streets, the sidewalks that actually connect, and you're gonna stop by HEB or grab a coffee on your way back home. And you're still gonna be home in time before that first Zoom call hits. And then in the evenings, maybe it's your kids' practice at Toyota Stadium or dinner over at Legacy West, guys. You've got the space, but you're not really isolated. You're still connected to the opportunity and all of the movement that's happening around you. And here's the thing about it all. That's gonna be all in the same metro. You're not choosing between chaos and boredom, guys. You're choosing your own balance. You can live near the energy and still have the structure that you want. You can live in a master plan community and still be 30 minutes from the skyline. You can have the backyard barbecues on Saturday and a Mavericks game on Sunday without feeling like you planned a road trip. That's why Dallas wins every time. It lets you design your life based on what season that you're in. Are you in your early career growth? Are you growing your family? Are you at the slower pace, or do you have bigger ambitions? You don't have to leave the region every time the season changes. And that type of flexibility, it sounds really subtle until you live somewhere that didn't give it to you. Now, here's something that nobody glamorizes about moving to a new city, guys. Your life is not supposed to feel like a full-time logistics shop. If every normal weekday requires you crossing 3 highways, checking 2 traffic apps, and mentally preparing for battle, guys, that's not exciting, that's exhausting. Dallas works because you can build your own radius. I like to call it my 20-minute bubble. Most people here, they live inside a 15 to 20-minute bubble that covers almost everything that they need, right? Work, school drop-off, gym, groceries, dinner, maybe a park or a practice in the evenings. You don't have to touch every corner of the metro to function out here. And yes, traffic exists. There's no getting around that, right? Yes, the tollway is a lifestyle choice. Yes, 75 at the wrong time will test your frickin' patience. But the difference is you can design your life around all of it once you really know your own lane. If you live up in Frisco, your world can stay in Frisco most of the day. If you're over in Plano, Plano just works. If you're in Uptown, you're not commuting to the suburbs for basic life necessities. The Metroplex isn't built around one single choke point that everyone has to funnel through just to survive a Tuesday. And that's gonna be the major advantage, guys. You can shrink your daily world without shrinking your opportunities. You're not sacrificing career access or entertainment just to make your commute tolerable. You're structuring your life in a way that feels predictable. And predictability is underrated. Because once all that excitement of the move fades away, what you're left with is your daily routines. And in Dallas, you can build one that doesn't feel like you're fighting the city every single day. But I do want to tell you about this, and this is what makes everything even more interesting. Here's what Dallas is doing right now with a lot of people they tend to miss, right? It's not chasing a new personality. It's not trying to go viral as a city. Dallas is stacking daily life wins, and that matters more than some flashy reinvention. What you're seeing isn't random hype projects anymore, guys. It's gonna be more about convenience layered into places people are already living. More restaurants filling in the walkable pockets, more mixed-use areas where you can grab dinner, knock out errands, and hit a workout without turning it into a full production. More of these employers are choosing North Texas so people don't have to uproot their lives for all the opportunity. The airport keeps getting better, the entertainment districts keep expanding, and business corridors, they aren't disappearing, guys, they're strengthening. The city isn't flipping upside down every 5 years trying to figure itself out up here, guys. It's tightening the screws on what's already working. And that's gonna be a different type of growth pattern, right? Some cities grow and everything starts to feel extra tight. Your commutes get worse, the infrastructure starts to lag, the energy just gets chaotic. Dallas was built big from the start, so it has room to absorb the growth without everything immediately feeling broken. And when you zoom out, you can start to see the pattern that's starting to form, guys. It's not dramatic, it's steady. The direction is already there, guys. Dallas isn't trying to impress you with a personality shift. It's quietly making everyday life easier in more parts of the Metroplex. And while that may sound boring until you realize that's exactly what most people are actually looking for. But here's the one thing though, every city that works this well comes with a cost at some point and somewhere. And if you're seriously comparing Dallas to Houston to Austin or anywhere else in Texas, guys, you need to understand that part as well, because this is where the decision usually gets real. All right, so let's be real for 1 second. Dallas will humble you. And if somebody tells you this city has no downsides, they either moved here last week or they haven't paid a toll bill yet. I mean, first let's talk about the heat, right? Summer in Dallas is straight up disrespectful. This is not gonna be that cute warm weather, right? This is that walking from your car to the door like it's a timed mission. You're gonna end up planning your day around it, and you're gonna check the forecast like it owes you money. Listen, location choices matter a lot. Dallas is easy if you plan it all right, and it will absolutely humble you if you don't. If you decide to live on one side of the Metroplex and then work on the complete opposite side because the house looked good online, the commute will educate you with the quickness. The traffic here is manageable when your radius actually makes sense, guys. And it's not gonna be manageable when you ignore all the geography. This city rewards intentional decisions and punishes a bunch of that randomness. And then there's gonna be the little things that people don't even think about, right? The toll roads are a lifestyle here. Texas doesn't have a state income tax, but trust me when I tell you, the state still gets paid. Growth means these popular areas, they're gonna feel busy. The restaurants are gonna have wait times. The roads are gonna feel fuller than what they were just 10 years ago. But here's the major key. None of this is chaos at all. It's just big city reality. And compared to some of these other major metros, Dallas handles the size very, very well. The question isn't whether there are trade-offs. Every city has them, right? The real question becomes whether the trade-offs feel worth all the upside. And for a lot of people, they actually do. Because if you plan it right, Dallas is smooth, man. But if you try to wing it, Dallas will humble you with the quickness. And that's usually the moment that people realize where the city fits them and where it doesn't. So who is actually winning in Dallas right now, guys? It's not gonna be the usual person chasing the loudest city in the room, guys. It's gonna be the person who's thinking long term. It's families who looked at Austin and said, you know, we love it, but does it still make sense 5 years from now? It's gonna be the professionals who want that real opportunity without feeling like they're in a constant bidding war just to exist. It's gonna be the remote workers who still want the infrastructure, the airport access, and the career upside in case their life changes. It's gonna be for those people who don't wanna move twice, guys. It's the person who wants the options, the person who wants the stability without feeling stuck. And it's gonna be about the person who cares more about how their life is functioning Monday through Friday than how the city looks on Instagram once a month. Dallas tends to win with planners, guys, with people who think in terms of trade-offs instead of trends. With the people who understand that no city is perfect, but some cities are built to handle real life better than others. And what's really interesting is Dallas is rarely the first city people romanticize, guys. It's the one they always end up circling back to. Because when you strip away all the hype and start comparing structure, access, opportunity, and the day-to-day livability, Dallas keeps showing up as that balanced option. And balance doesn't always go viral, but it works. Now, if you're comparing Dallas to other Texas cities right now, let me give you something I call the regret test. Look, most people compare cities based on excitement. Like which one's gonna feel cooler, which one has more buzz, which one looks better on social media. And that's fine if you're picking a place to visit, but it's a terrible way to pick a place to live. Listen, the regret test is simple, guys. Fast forward 2 years in your mind. The move isn't new anymore. You're not exploring every single weekend. You're not trying every restaurant, and it's a random weekday, right? You've got responsibilities. You're juggling work, family, and everything that you have to do on the day-to-day. I want you to ask yourself this one question. Does this city make my life easier or harder? Not does it make it more exciting, not more interesting, easier or harder? Does your commute feel manageable, right? Does your daily radius make sense? Do the trade-offs feel like a fair price for the upside? Or do you feel like you're constantly compensating for a decision that looked good on paper? Because that's where the regret always tends to show up with my clients. Dallas tends to pass the regret test for a certain type of person, right? The planner, the long-term thinker, the person who cares more about how their life functions than how it photographs. It's gonna be for the person who wants options without all the chaos. Dallas is rarely the city people brag about first, guys. It's the one they realize they're glad they chose later. And when you run Dallas through the regret test instead of the vibes test, the answer usually gets a lot clearer. So when you really zoom out and look at everything we just talked about, guys, this is why Dallas keeps rising to the top when people compare Texas City. It's not trying to be the loudest. It's not trying to reinvent itself every 5 years. It's not chasing a personality shift, right? It's stacking the daily wins every single day. It lets you build your radius, it rewards all the planners, and it handles growth without falling all the way apart. But hey, I understand, guys, some of you are still in your research mode. You're looking at neighborhoods, you're looking at different areas. You want to know if it's going to be good for your kids, and we understand that to the T. So if you're thinking about making a move, reach out to us, guys. We can help you in any way. But if you're still in that planning mode and you're looking for more information, then we created whole playlists that you can binge watch. and you can check those out right there.